We begin inside the pamphlets with Sabbath prayer.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen us, O Lord, and keep us from the stranger's way. May the Lord fulfill our Sabbath prayer for you.
May God keep you and shield you from strife.
May God in God's wisdom always care for you. May the Lord protect and defend
May God always shield you from shame.
May God always shield you from shame.
Favor us, O Lord,
with happiness. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to our services this evening. I am really glad that so many of you are here tonight, either in person or on YouTube, particularly in light of a conversation that I had earlier with a TCS member who said, Rabbi, I was planning on coming to services tonight, but I'm not going to make it. You know the Celtics are playing tonight. It's game 4 of the finals, so I'm going to stay home and watch it. And I said, really? You can't be serious. I care about the Celtics as much as anybody, but tonight is board installation, it's volunteer appreciation, it's a beautiful and important night for our congregation. You've got to be at services. He said, but the Celtics have a chance to sweep the Mavericks and win the championship. And I said, I know that, and it's for occasions just like this that we have a DVR. And he said, great. So can you tell me how I can use it to record the service? So the truth is that because we do stream our services on YouTube, it is automatically recorded. But I didn't tell him that. But what I will ask is that out of respect for people who are recording the game and planning to watch it later, if you happen to hear a score or see any updates about the game, please keep it to yourself and don't share it. That will help all of us to be present in this moment and experience a Shabbat evening of peace and joy. And it will be especially joyous tonight because in addition to our regular Shabbat celebration, we do acknowledge and appreciate the many volunteers who sustain our congregational life, and we will recognize and install the members of our board of directors and officers who will begin or continue their terms on July 1st. As a community, we gather to welcome you to those leadership responsibilities and to honor and thank you for your service. But we begin by welcoming Shabbat together with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. The blessing is on page 301. Thank you, Michelle.
Third time's always a charm.
No pressure.
It's tricky under the
Really?
fan.
It's not-
Under the
not
fan. It's
neurosurgery.
under the fan. It's tricky.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. We continue on page 13 as we welcome the Shabbat angels of peace and joy. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shalom aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now we are ready to welcome the Shabbat bride on page 21. Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, to greet the bride.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekar elav. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litehila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'makshava techila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri uri, shir daberi. Kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Borichala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
may be seated. And we turn to page 23 where we find the words to Psalm 92, a special psalm for Shabbat. 4 lines from the bottom of the Hebrew, we find the words that mean, 8 lines from the bottom of the English, the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, they shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon, tzaddik katamar.
Tzaddik katamar yifra ke'erez balvanon שתולים בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בשיבה דשנים ורעננים יהיו בהגים כי אשר אדוני צורי ולא עוולת בו.
We turn to page 27 and we rise for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם לא מעלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו
Amen. Inside the pamphlets, Am I Awake? Leading into Baruch Hu.
Yada dai dai dai, 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 yada dai dai dai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yadidai dai dai, 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 yadidai dai dai.
Can be seated. We turn in the Siddur to page 367 for a special blessing appropriate for all of us in this congregation who do the holy work of our community. On page 367 at the top, let's continue together. May your eyes sparkle with the light of Torah, and your ears hear the music of its words. May the space between each letter of the scrolls bring warmth and comfort to your soul. May the syllables draw holiness from your heart, and may this holiness be gentle and soothing to you and all God's creatures. May your study be passionate, and meanings bear more meanings, until life arrays itself to you as a dazzling wedding feast. And may your conversation, even of the commonplace, be a blessing to all who listen to your words and see the Torah glowing on your face. Back on page 29, in gratitude for the gift of Torah, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochveinu v'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam v'ahem. Ki heim hayenu, Le'orech yameinu, Uvahem negeh yomam v'layla. Ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 30.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta b'am, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha.
Page 31 and the sixth line from the top.
Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
On page 32, in the middle of the page, Mi Chamocha.
la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilo osei fele. Nora tehilo osei fele. Malechutecha ra'u banecha. Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Eli anu ve'amru. Ze Eli anu ve'amru. Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 ya la lai 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 lai. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Mi Chamocha celebrates the culmination of the exodus from Egypt. The Israelites escape from slavery. After getting out of Egypt, they begin to make their way towards Mount Sinai, where they will hear God speak to them and enter into covenant with God, which we just celebrated this past Tuesday night with our holiday of Shavuot. And after the revelation at Sinai, God tells Moses to tell the people to build a mishkan, a tabernacle, a portable dwelling place for God that will accompany them through the wilderness. Now, God knows that the people would be so eager and excited to build this sacred structure that they would be committed to its construction, so committed that they would work around the clock until it was finished. And so at the end of the commandments about the Mishkan, God says, Ach et Shabbatai tishmoru. Nevertheless, you shall keep my Shabbat. Why nevertheless? What does the word nevertheless mean? Because out of their devotion to the divine task of building, they might be tempted to work on Shabbat. Nevertheless, Shabbat is so important that they need to pause even from this holy work in order to observe it. TCS volunteers are the same way. They busily build our Mishkan, our sacred place. Out of their love for our congregation and our community, they often work around the clock. But because the risk of our leaders giving so much of themselves that they burn out is real, we all need to remember, Ach et Shabtotai tishmoru. Nevertheless, you shall keep my Shabbat. Our volunteer leaders need Shabbat too. And the importance of Shabbat in preventing burnout is reinforced by the well-known text that comes next. After reminding the Israelites to keep Shabbat, nevertheless, God says, Vishamru, which we will sing in just a moment. The Israelites shall keep Shabbat because, it says, God spent 6 days working hard making the universe, and then God rested and was refreshed. If even God needed that day off after the work of creation, how much more do our temple leaders and temple members deserve Shabbat as well in order to rest and refresh themselves? We should not ask them to do temple work on Shabbat, and they should not allow themselves to do temple work on Shabbat. Out of love for our temple, they may be tempted to work. Out of our love for them, we should reply, Ach et Shabtotai tishmoru. Nevertheless, you shall keep Shabbat. Page 34, Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 35B, we continue with the Amidah. We'll start together on page 35B and then continue individually from there, either with the words of the Siddur through page 38, or with the prayers of our own hearts and our own souls. And when we've had as much time as we'd like for our private prayers, we may be seated, but we begin by rising together on page 35B.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot, U'Mevi Goel V'Vnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer Ufoked Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atah Rav Hoshia. Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim umatir asurim umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach melech memi umechayem umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lachayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalducha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך Adonai Turi Adonai Turi Vegoali Vegoali Yehu Leraton Yon libi lefanecha Adonai Turi Adonai Turi Vegoali
We turn our thoughts now to our loved ones and friends who are ill, those who are in need of healing, whether physically or spiritually or emotionally. Continue on the inside back cover of the Siddur with our prayer for healing, Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikor Abracha Lehimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Tonight in our TCS family, we think particularly of Rick Albertini, Phyllis Burke, Arthur Campbell, Phyllis Dillon, Valerie Frank, Jennifer Galvin, David Glazer, Carolyn Halunin, Cheryl Leahy, Gary Levine, Sumner Levine, Nancy Mayer, Paul Newfield, Sarah Newfield, Mark Panasuk, Gail Rosenberg, Cindy Sherman, Sheila Wagner, Yonina bat David HaKohen Visara, Esther bat Chaim Vagoldi, Rella bat Moshe Haskell Ufega Leah, Fegi bat Shlomo Nisan Halevi. If there's someone for whom you are particularly concerned tonight, whose name you'd like to mention aloud, we invite you to do so now. We hold all of our friends and loved ones in our hearts.
Mishaberach imotenu lekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We turn to page 148. On page 148, we find a special blessing, a prayer for those who serve the community. Particularly appropriate this evening. Page 148 in the middle. Let's read together. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless this entire congregation, together with all holy congregations, them, their sons and daughters, their families, and all that is theirs, along with those who unite to establish synagogues for prayer, and those who enter them to pray, and those who give funds for heat and light, and wine for Kiddush and Havdalah, bread to the wayfarer, and charity to the poor, and all who devotedly involve themselves with the needs of this community and the land of Israel. May the Holy One reward them, remove sickness from them, heal them, and forgive their sins. May God bless them by making all their worthy endeavors prosper, as well as those of the entire people Israel. And let us say, Amen. In the words of this prayer, we are a community that devotedly involve ourselves with the land of Israel, particularly over these last 8+ months. We have been thinking constantly, praying constantly for the well-being of Israel. On the handout, the bigger handout, we find a prayer for the state of Israel for peace. And let's read together. Sovereign of the universe, accept in loving kindness and with favor our prayers for the state of Israel, her government, and all who dwell within her boundaries and under her authority. Open our eyes and our hearts to the wonder of Israel, and strengthen our faith in your power to work redemption in every human soul. Grant us also the fortitude to keep ever before us those ideals upon which the state of Israel was founded. Grant courage, wisdom, and strength to those entrusted with guiding Israel's destiny to do your will. Be with those on whose shoulders Israel's safety depends, and defend them from all harm. Spread over Israel and all the world your shelter of peace, and may the vision of your prophet soon be fulfilled. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Today is day 252 since October 7th, 36 weeks since the Hamas attack of October 7th, in which, among other brutalities, they took over 200 people hostage. Fortunately, 4 were rescued this week, but approximately 116 still remain in captivity, and we continue to pray for their release. In the middle of the handout, a song, a prayer for their release.
Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Hanetunim B'tzara u'v'shivya, v'homdim bein bayam u'bein bayabasha. Hamakom yirachem aleihem, v'yotzihem mitzara lirvacha, u'me'afel la'ora, u'mishiabud lige'ula hashta bagala u'bizman karim. בגלה ובזמן קריב.
We continue on page 51. Back in the Siddur, page 51, we rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח
לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight, our hearts especially go out to Glenn Mallon and his family. Glenn's father, Harvey Mallon, died this past Wednesday. His funeral will be Tuesday at 10 o'clock at Schlossberg, and there will be a Shiva service at Glenn and Jerry's house at 7 o'clock that evening. And our congregational family remembers with special affection our loved ones whose Yahrzeit will occur this coming week. Kenneth Fraden, father of Gary Fraden. Steve Gradwell, brother of Jane Nash. Frederick Goldstein, brother of Ellie Peltz. Byron Rogers, father of Rhonda Polanski. Minnie Tallman, mother-in-law of Diane Siegel. Eva Schultz, grandmother of Diane Siegel. Rhoda Swissman, aunt of Paula Kaczynski. Jerome Kay, father of Rhonda Spiegel. We also remember all those killed on and since October 7th as a result of the Hamas attack on Israel. If you are remembering someone this evening, we invite you to say that person's name aloud now. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of all our dear ones be a blessing. If you're saying Kaddish in someone's memory tonight, we ask you to rise now. In loving support of the mourners, we rise as a congregation. In gratitude to God for the gift of the lives of their loved ones, those who are in mourning and those remembering someone, say Kaddish on page 52. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayeichon v'yomeichon, Uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam l'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, D'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all of the bereaved. And we say, Amen. Please be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
We're transitioning now to the other part of our evening. This week we read the Torah portion called Naso, which in context means to count. It begins with God telling Moses to take a census to count the members of the different families of the Levites who would take responsibility for transporting the sacred items on the people's journey through the wilderness. Literally, Moses needs to know who can be counted on to do the important work of the community. Tonight, as we honor our volunteers and install our new returning members of the board and officers, we celebrate that they have come forward to show that we can count on them. But the word naso also has a different meaning, also appropriate for tonight. It also means to lift up. God is telling Moses to give the Levites an elevated position. They're not just to be ordinary members of the community, but because of their responsibility, they are exalted. They are to be celebrated. We too elevate our leaders, literally, as they will come up to the bima, and we will honor them this evening. But crucially, our lifting them up follows them lifting themselves up. It is only because they stepped up, because they raised their hand, because they picked up the phone, that they have now picked up the mantle of leadership. When we were in need, they stood up for us, and now we stand up for them. Another way in which the portion fits tonight is in its ending. The portion includes the priestly benediction, the words of blessing that Aaron would say to invoke God's blessing on the people. It is a beautiful prayer. It is understood to ask for blessings both tangible and intangible, both professional and personal, both material and spiritual. Since Aaron's time, it has become the traditional blessing for many different occasions. Parents use it to ask for blessings on their children on holy day evenings. It is said for a newly married couple under the chuppah. We said it 6 weeks ago when we consecrated our new Sulam students, welcoming them to a life of Jewish learning. I say it for every bar and bat mitzvah when we celebrate with them here on the bima, and I said it for our confirmands when we honored them this past Tuesday night. And this blessing, too, includes a form of the word naso. In the last line it says, Yisa, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Literally, may God lift up God's face to you and grant you peace. But I don't really know what it means for God to lift up God's face, so I usually translate it a little more loosely, and this is my blessing, my prayer for all of our volunteers, for our board members, and for our officers. May God always show you favor and grant you a life of joy and happiness, a life of health and fulfillment and meaning, and above all, a life of peace. Amen. There's actually one more connection to the word naso that I want to particularly mention this evening. In modern Hebrew, the word for president is nasi, one who is lifted up by the community, chosen to lead. In 2019, here at TCS, we were not sure who was going to step up to be president. No one on the board at that time felt ready to take up this privilege and responsibility. And then, Craig Barger showed up. He wasn't even on the board at the time, but he knew that our congregation needed someone who could lead us forward. And so the congregation elected him, elevating him to the presidency, making him our nasi. And then in 2021, he agreed to serve another term. And then in 2023, he agreed to serve one more year, just one more year. It's been a pretty uneventful 5 years. Through the restrictions and isolation of the COVID pandemic, through the wild vicissitudes of an economy that cratered and then overheated and now seems hopefully to be settling, through the start of the war in Ukraine and the brutal Hamas attack on Israel and its aftermath, including the shocking, sudden rise in explicit anti-Semitism that has forced us to reevaluate and elevate our security precautions. Through all of it, Craig has charted a course that has allowed us to face these challenges and overcome them. Little did we know when we elevated Craig as our nasi in 2019, how much he would elevate us over the next 5 years, how much we would need him to lift us up. He has lifted us through his constant presence, particularly at Shabbat services and other events, greeting attendees at the door, warmly welcoming newcomers and long-timers alike. He has lifted us through his engagement with bar and bat mitzvah families, frequently showing up before the service, even when other board members were officially on duty that day, just to make sure that everything was in order for them, and relishing the opportunity to get to know these new young adults and congratulate them on behalf of the congregation. He has lifted us by spearheading our dramatically successful fundraising campaigns, usually leveraging his and Elaine's personal tzedakah to inspire and challenge the congregation to provide the resources necessary for us to fulfill our sacred mission. He has lifted us up behind the scenes as well. Not many people see that our setup crew for our various services and programs often consists of Craig, schlepping chairs and tables around the building. And he has lifted us up by bringing Elaine into deeper congregational leadership and volunteerism as well. Her continuing impact is worthy of a full salute in its own right, but knowing how she feels about being publicly acknowledged for her countless contributions, for my own safety, I'm going to stop here. Craig's generosity of time, energy, money, and spirit have lifted us throughout the 5 years of his presidency and positioned us well to face whatever challenges and opportunities lie ahead of us. Our service is basically over, so we are allowed to applaud. So friends, please join me in thanking our Nasi. extraordinary service to our congregation. And how it is my pleasure to call on Craig to preside over our installation ceremony.
Wow. Thank you, Rabbi. I did not expect that, and I very much am honored that you thank you for your words. Shabbat Shalom. Our board of directors and executive board is made up of talented and dedicated synagogue members. Each one serves our community by working on committees, assuming various leadership positions, and working diligently to serve the needs of the Temple Chai Shalom community. The nominating committee makes recommendation to the board of directors to fill the positions for open terms on the executive board and the board of directors. Tonight we install new and renewing executive board and board members. Executive board positions are for 2 years, or sometimes 5 years, and general board members, board positions are for 3 years. For those renewing board members who are present, please come to the bima when I read your name. Jennifer Delaney, Rhonda Jelinek, Scott Weber, Elaine Barger, Rhonda Fleming, Marty McIntosh, Ruth Albert, and Adam Garber. I hope you all brought your you didn't bring them up?
That was not her.
I should have told you that. I probably. Okay, so
There we go.
Rabbi has a couple more here, so you. Okay, renewing board members, please read the oath of installation in the handout. Our God and God of our ancestors, we stand before you this evening because of our dedication to the people's people. We are inheritors of the glorious tradition and teachers of generations to come. We are inspired by the teaching of our tradition and promise to let it guide us throughout our lives. Tonight, it is my pleasure to install the executive committee. Jennifer Delaney, President. Yours truly, immediate past President. Rhonda Jelinek, Treasurer. Howard Wiseman, Vice President. Scott Weber, Financial Secretary. And Elaine Barger, Secretary. And we also welcome the following renewing board members. Rhonda Fleming, Marty McIntosh, Ruthie Albert, and Adam Garber. Renewing board members, please read the oath of installation that you have in your handouts. You got it? As members of the board of directors, we dedicate ourselves to maintaining a vibrant, growing community built on mutual support and care. We pray for wisdom and understanding so that our efforts on behalf of this congregation may be significant and successful. May the effort we give to our holy congregation enrich our lives and our souls. Now the congregation gets to read out of your section. You got it? Go for it, guys. Go for it. That was very well done. Thank you. Jennifer Delaney, it is our distinct pleasure to install you as the president of this congregation. Could you please read the oath of installation?
The members of this congregation have selected me to lead us through the year ahead. I accept the responsibilities of president. I commit myself to faithfully serve Temple Chai Shalom and to lead as an upstanding example for those within our community.
On behalf of our board and this congregation, I welcome you to the board in the role of president and thank you for your dedication and commitment. Now it's your turn, right?
Being a synagogue board member is not like serving any other organization. Our board's responsibilities are not just financial, they are spiritual and educational. Our board does not work just for the good of our congregation and community, but for the good of Judaism as a whole. Our board looks for guidance not just to our congregation's bylaws and policies, but to the Torah and Jewish tradition. That's why we begin each of our meetings with a Devar Torah, to bring the lessons of Jewish life to bear on our decisions. To symbolize this charge and to consecrate our board members to this mission, we will now take the Torah out of the ark and hand it to each of our board members to hold. As you take the Torah into your arms, concentrate on that feeling so that you can remember it and carry it with you as you continue to do the work of our congregation. Please rise. Our God and God of our ancestors, bless these leaders and this holy congregation. May its future be filled with accomplishment and discovery. Help our board to lead by example, being motivated by their minds and their souls, and may you bless the work of their hands.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Hello. My name is Rhonda Jelinek. I'm the current treasurer at TCF. I'm also a past president with Heidi and Mike Kamens. I don't know how many years ago that was. A long time ago. So I want to welcome you here tonight on this wonderful occasion, our board installation and volunteer appreciation night. I'm happy to represent the Board of Directors here tonight in thanking Craig Barger for his 5 years of service as TCS President. A lot of what I wrote, the Rabbi already said, and I don't know if I could possibly top that because it was everything that he said, I think we all feel about Craig. If you think that 5 years sounds like a long time to be Temple President, it is. Most people are ready to pass that torch after 2 years, but not Craig. His first term was up early in the pandemic, and as the Rabbi said, you remember how those days were. It was not easy to make changes at that time, so Craig agreed to stay on. And during this last year, he's worked with Jen to help prepare her for her coming presidency. When I think of Craig Barger, the words that come to mind are kind, generous, smart, and caring. A mensch, a true mensch. A person with integrity, morality, and dignity. That defines Craig Barger perfectly. In addition to being a mensch, he has led this congregation with a smile on his face. He has told me that he has loved being TCS president, loved it. And we have all loved having you as our president, Craig. Not many people could bring a temple through the COVID pandemic as gracefully as Craig did. When COVID hit and all the dust settled, Craig was still standing strongly and holding up the TCS community alongside Rabbi Ken, David Rothberg, Jerry Robbins, our educational director, and the staff, ensuring all of us that we were having access to online services, classes, school programming, and staying connected as best as we could. When we reopened the temple to in-person services, Craig ensured that we had a panel of medical professionals, including physicians, nurses, public health workers, consulting and putting together sound policies to keep us all safe. Craig has consistently been present here at TCS on Friday night services, as the Rabbi said, both at the start of his presidency and after we reopened the temple during the pandemic. He is here week after week. He's been instrumental in keeping our doors open, our social programming vibrant, and our connection to each other as strong as ever. In addition to navigating the COVID pandemic, Craig has led us as a Jewish community through the aftermath of the Hamas attacks on Israel on October 7th and the impact that has had on the Jewish community near and far. He has secured us grants to help implement security measures. He has been confident, strong, and has kept us calm in a way that has made us all feel safe during these difficult last 8 months. Many of you are also aware that in addition to being president of TCS, Craig is a member of the Select Board in Easton and has been consistently throughout his presidency at TCS. He has strengthened our connections with town officials and other religious organizations in town. He is a strong advocate of social justice projects in our community and the town of Easton, and has been instrumental in ensuring that the town of Easton, where TCS building stands, is moving forward in the right direction. On a personal note, I'm honored to call Craig my friend. It has been a pleasure to be treasurer under your presidency, Craig. We thank you for your time, dedication, and caring leadership over the last 5 years. Now, as many of you know, Craig likes to wear these hats. Fedora hats? Okay. And he's one of these guys that just looks great in a hat. Not everybody can pull it off, but Craig can. So I just see he's wearing one of his stylish hats tonight. So as a token of our appreciation for your years of dedication and service, Craig, the Board of Directors would like to present you with a gift certificate to the online hat store that you shop at. Thank you, Elaine, for the recon on that. Based out of Florida, no less. We hope you enjoy this, and we wish you happy shopping. And Craig, welcome to the Past Presidents Group. Thanks.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Whenever I mention to people that I will be taking on this presidency, they often say, wow, that's a big job. Or they just simply ask, why? My response to them is always, why not? If not me, then who? Since we joined this amazing community, it was never a question in my mind that I would someday take on this role. It is very clear that organizations do not run themselves, and for me, it is just simply my turn. We are an interfaith family, yet Paul and I committed from the start to raising our children in Judaism. As a transplant, with my immediate family far away, we relied on the support we were given from our congregational family. to help us deeply instill the values and traditions of Judaism in our children. I grew up in a relatively observant, kosher home, which was strongly connected to conservative Judaism. My personal level of observance has changed over time, and I wanted our children to have the same freedom to decide for themselves how to incorporate Judaism into their lives. It was always a priority for them to have a strong base to fall back on when they wanted or needed it. We are proud to say that both our kids have a strong connection to Jewish family traditions, a true Jewish identity, and a deep love for Israel. I truly believe this is largely a product of growing up within the TCS community. In addition to our strong family traditions, and the best way I feel I can substantially give thanks for this gift is to pay it forward with my time and devotion to this congregation. Maya Angelou said, "I appear as one, but I stand here as thousands, all those who came before me and built this foundation." This presidency is not only a personal goal, but one that is a culmination of what has been instilled in me throughout my life. I am proud to say both of my parents have held multiple leadership positions in their personal lives as well as their professional lives, and have lived a lifetime of devotion to their synagogues. Through their influence and guidance, I have truly had the best role models one can ask for. And I aspire to be a strong leadership role model for our children as well. I am fully aware that this job will be all-consuming for the next 2 years. And I also know there is no way I can pull it off without the support of my family and friends. To my husband, Paul, thank you for always indulging me in my many endeavors. You are an amazing support. I am deeply appreciative of all you do to hold down the fort, and I know that Ollie is incredibly grateful for you as well. To all my sisters by choice, being a mom is the hardest job in the world, except maybe the job of temple president. I will let you know. You have always been there for me, supporting me with a shoulder, an ear, and valuable sage advice. That friendship is the greatest gift I could ask for. And to my children, I am in awe of you and all you have managed to accomplish in your relatively short lives. You constantly inspire me to do better and to be better. I have served on the TCS Temple Board for over 12 years and have served on or been chair of various committees. Over the years, I was approached multiple times to take on the presidency, and I always said, not until our kids were out of the house and off to college. So here I am. And I am honored to be chosen to lead this remarkable board of directors, made up of honorable, righteous, dedicated individuals who all bring their own talents and skills to our organization, as well as our amazing staff and everyone who works so hard to keep this community moving forward. It seems that every presidential term is faced with its own unique challenges. Craig had a few extra thrown. It is all too evident with the current geopolitical climate and war in Israel, the extreme increases in anti-Semitism globally, and the drastic reduction in our population affiliating with religious organizations, that my term will certainly have its challenges as well. However, I am ready to face all of these challenges head on, knowing I have a strong team standing beside me. And on a much lighter note, I am super excited to lead our TCS family through its 50th anniversary year in 2026, which is a spectacular milestone for us all to celebrate together. I would be remiss if I did not mention by name one of the finest people I have ever had the honor to serve with, and that is Craig. Craig has gone above and beyond in his role as president, including staying on for an extra year to help me transition. He, with the support of his amazing wife, Elaine, are the pinnacle of generosity and dedication, and this temple has been incredibly fortunate to have them at the helm. Those are going to be very big shoes to fill. One of my favorite quotes is, if you want to go somewhere fast, go alone. But if you want to go somewhere far, go together. Throughout my tenure on this board, I have been consistently impressed by the level of professionalism, respect, and the lack of ego that exists within our leadership. I feel so fortunate to be part of a group that truly comes together as one to accomplish great work, and that leads this community with virtue, always staying true to our core values. As your president, I am excited to bring all my energy and enthusiasm to this role and to begin paying back the enormous debt of appreciation I have for my TCS family. Shabbat Shalom.
Before we leave the installation, I just
No,
want to...
you have,
No, I just want to say one
Okay.
other quick thing, and that was, some of you may have noticed when we were passing the Torah around up here that I gave the Torah to Craig and then gave it to Jen. I wanted to sort of symbolize the transition from one president to another, but it occurs to me that that chain could have started a lot earlier in this room. You are blessed with not just the current team of board members and a wonderful immediate past president, but we say immediate to recognize there are many other past presidents whose wisdom and advice and experience you'll also be able to draw on. Many of them are in this room. If you are a past president of the congregation, would you just raise your hand or stand up here? And so this is part of your team. This is part of our team. This is part of our strength as well. We're grateful to all of you for everything that you have done over the years to bring us to this point as well. And not just for the oneg that we're going to enjoy.
Thank you for the immediate past presidents, all those past presidents.
I am very proud of this community to have the courage of affirming our Jewish identity in the midst of a ferocious rise in anti-Semitism could not be more noble. I applaud you all for your commitment and investment in TCS. We have an extraordinary number of committees, clubs, and groups that make this community so special and engaging. And these groups would not exist and be run so well if not for the courage, enthusiasm, and generosity of our volunteers.
Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how the strong people stumbled or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, who strives valiantly and who errs, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings. But those who actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, great devotions, and who spends themselves in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if they fail, at least fails while daring greatly."
This is what it takes to be a leader, and to volunteer your precious time with an organization like ours. It is about being willing to step up when others don't. It's being willing to make choices between all the different ways you can or may want to spend your time. It's about being a good listener and having immense patience when the members of the community have needs, even if they want to just share criticism without helping to formulate a solution. It's about devotion, which each of you have shown to have in spades, and for which we are so grateful.
TCS has 16 different committees, groups, and clubs that provide opportunities for engagement for not only individual members, but our community as a whole. We would like to particularly thank the Sisterhood, the Brotherhood, Senior High, School Committee, Ritual Committee, Fundraising Committee, and Torch. We especially thank the Membership Committee, Joe Emerson and Alicia Dancy in particular, for putting an extraordinary amount of time and energy into our marketing efforts, which are fulfilling a critical need by successfully attracting new members.
The culture of philanthropy at Temple High Shalom extends well beyond monetary donations. The donation of your time and energy is priceless. We sincerely and deeply appreciate your volunteer efforts, which help to create a warm and welcoming community. As a small token of that appreciation, we have gift bags that we will be passing out. Thank you for being part of our TCS family.
One of my favorite stories that I have told before concerns a congregation that decided to build a new temple. As the building took shape, the congregation could watch, growing more and more excited as the structure got more and more complete. After several months of eager anticipation, the building was finally finished, and the entire congregation gathered for the grand tour. It was magnificent, with high ceilings, tall windows, an intimate sanctuary, beautiful classrooms, everything that the congregation could want. Everyone was extremely pleased until they noticed the one thing that was missing. There were no lights anywhere in the building. No chandeliers, no recessed lighting, no fluorescent fixtures, no lights at all. Everyone began to shout and complain all at once until the architect raised his hand. When the crowd got quiet, he explained, "See by the front door, there's a big box. In that box, there are candles for every family. Whenever you come to the synagogue, bring your candles with you. And this way you will know that whenever you are not here, our community will be a bit darker. And whenever you do come to be part of our community, our light will burn that much brighter." Tonight we honor all of our volunteers who bring their candles to our community, who join together to give of your time and your energy and your creativity and your passion in so many different ways that keep our community lit. Without all of you, our congregation would not be able to fulfill its potential. Indeed, we would be unable to exist at all. Our volunteers make us a welcoming, dynamic, thriving community. Our volunteers greet worshipers at services and engage our current members and reach out to attract more new members. Our volunteers provide our Oneg Shabbat snacks after services and help create and run our education programs and our ritual observances and maintain and secure our temple building. Our volunteers gather food for the hungry and call sick or bereaved people to see if they need anything and sing with their hearts. Our volunteers organize programming for our seniors and our youth, and for our women and for our men. In countless other ways, our volunteers make this congregation go. I know how much I depend on our volunteers to fulfill our sacred mission. Without your selfless devotion, your boundless enthusiasm, and your inspiring creativity, our temple and our congregation would simply be alone in the dark. So I would now like to invite anyone who chairs one of our congregational committees to come to the bima so that you can be recognized. And now I would like to ask anyone here who volunteers for our congregation in any capacity to please rise. To you, our volunteers, we give our deep appreciation and our gratitude. And for you, we ask God's blessing in the words of Psalm 92, which we sang earlier, Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizgeh, shtulim beveit Adonai, b'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. The righteous will flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. As you enable so many others to be planted in this house of Adonai, so may you always flourish and stand tall and thrive. Amen. Now please stay standing. because we want to come around with the gift bag token of appreciation, and since you're standing here, we'll know who to give them to. So, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is a pair of candles. Yes? Good. A pair of candles inside, which illustrates how much light each one of you brings. That improves our temple so much for so many. Look at that. Volunteers jumping right in to help more.
Our tradition has some amazing wisdom about volunteering, which the rabbis of the Mishnah knew all about burnout, because they said, don't feel obligated to complete the task of perfecting the world or the temple, but you're not free to do nothing either. To hold that paradox, and that's what this this verse that is set to music means. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor. Velo ata ben chorin lehibatel minena. Velo ata ben chorin. Velo ata ben chorin lehibatel minena. Velo ata ben chorin. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor. Velo ata ben chorin lehibatel minena. Velo ata ben chorin. Velo ata ben chorin lehibatel minena. Velo ata ben chorin.
Are you doing announcements? Sure, okay. One thing we didn't plan tonight was which of the many board members was doing announcements tonight.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to the past presidents again for sponsoring our own egg tonight. It looked delicious as I saw it walking by. Tomorrow, Torah study with Rabbi Carr at 9 a.m. in person and remote, and Havdalah service at 7 p.m. This Monday, Sisterhood board installation and summertime party. It's going to be so fun. Definitely come. 6:30 p.m. at Teresa Kepner's home. It's open to all Sisterhood members. This Thursday, Sisterhood-sponsored event, Mindfulness 101 workshop at TCS. This is for everybody. would be great. You really should come and hear what she has to say. I think she's going to be a great speaker. It's from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here, and it is open to the community, so please bring friends, family, whoever you think could use a little mindfulness. Family Table needs our help every month. 30 cans of tuna and 30 cans of vegetarian soup. If you would like to donate to Family Table monthly instead of bringing food, there is also a link in your weekly email where you can donate. Spring cleaning, clean out your closets. The Greater Attleboro Area Council for Children, we are collecting clothes, shoes, scarves, handbags, wallets, fashion accessories, belts, backpacks, anything you can think of, household textiles, bedding, linens, pillows. Bring your donations in plastic bags to TCS. And if you have any questions about that, you can contact the office. Please remember to take flyers for more information. There's handouts in the foyer, and check the links to all our activities in your weekly emails on Monday, as well as special notices.
Shabbat shalom. I realized there were, I think, 3 other things that should have been on the announcements that weren't. First of all, tomorrow is Easton Pride from 10 to 2 at the Rockery. Torch will have a table. Is it Torch? Is not? No. Oh, all right. So we're not actually tabling, but it's okay. Well, still, we should come and support. Second, next Sunday, the 23rd, we are hosting a fabulous singer named Colleen Marshall. I've heard, even from people who aren't part of the congregation, that she is amazing. So please come. There's a flyer about that as well. I don't remember what time she's here, but it's in the flyer. So what?
I think it's
1:30? Okay. All right, good. So you can register by emailing the temple office to sign up. And speaking of wonderful singing, I want to just take a moment to thank the Kol Shalom Quartet for for their music tonight. We love having you sing, love hearing you all the time. So thank you. So I think we are ready for our final song.
I have one more announcement I have an idea that I would like to pursue with this congregation, my community, which is to have a different kind of Israel trip than we've done before here, an Israel Solidarity Mission. So this would be standing for Israel by going there, by spending our time and money to go and learn what Israel is actually going through now, to meet with the people who are helping Israel recover from the horrors of October 7th, to do some volunteering, to do some learning, and also to have some fun. But the main thing will be a mission to show our support and to deepen our understanding so that we can really know what we're talking about and what we're feeling when we think about Israel and talk about Israel. I'm thinking that the timing that I'm thinking of would be in November. This is all well and good that I have this idea and that I have some ideas about it, and I have some more ideas that you'll get. You'll see I have an article in the newsletter about this. I will send an email asking for some ideas from you and reactions from you. But what I really need to make this happen is to know if people are interested in this. So please, if you are, or if you just have some ideas about it, please contact me. And please look for further communications about this and respond to them so that we can do something for Israel tangibly in this congregation. And now we do have a song to close with. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. It is in your installation flyer.
Back page.
Back page. It's much of it is repeating after me. The verses are repeating after me. So listen to me sing it, and then you'll know exactly what to do. When we look and we see things are not what they should be. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Your turn. When we look and we see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Don't give up. Don't give in. Working together we all can win. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Your turn. Don't give up. Don't give in. Working together we all can win. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. There's big problems to be solved. Let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. There's big problems to be solved. Let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you.
Kiddush is on page 49 of the Siddur.
Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lemasei v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, mazel tov. Thank you, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Yisher koach.
Yeah, beautiful. Well done.
Ceremony. nice.